excited.
I'm also going to go live.
Let me see if I can pull it up as well.
Background. All right. And also live on Instagram. Perfect.
Oh, I see it.
Yay. So I'm going to present. Can we see the chart? Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this with you today. Thank you for being here. Today, I want to do this live reading. This is my first time doing this. And I'm so grateful for Astrology being here with me to allow me to share this with her. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I just wanted to open up just to everyone how I interpret charts, how you can interpret charts. You can find more definition to life, be able to find cycles and work through cycles. And Astrolita's here today to help me do that.
Thank you so much for having me. Like I was saying before, I was more so on a spiritual journey before I got into astrology back in 2020. So having this information and basically getting a reading right now is going to give me a lot of knowledge that I'm going to take with me. So thank you so much.
Very welcome. Now I want to set it. I want to set intention. Now I know that you talked about your journey, spiritual journey, but what are the specifics when it comes to how you want this session? Like, what do you learn from this session, or just
like what can I learn?
Gain
from this session? Okay, I would say more knowledge and just more so how I interpreted astrology myself and if I was correct about certain things that I was reading off my chart and stuff. So, like I said, my brother really got me into astrology. And from there, I took what he gave me and try to learn myself and try to really understand what I was reading and what I was looking at. And I think it's really important to study yourself before you go ahead and try to help others. I think that's where you start off. So that's more so the depths of like what I would take from this more so.
Perfect. Now sessions are interactive. Jump in whenever you feel comfortable. Now I'm going to look at 3 charts. Your natal chart, your progress chart, and also your perfection chart. What we come natal chart, where we come from, the tools we have. Progression and perfection, the future, how we can build with the tools we have. So when I start sessions, I want to break down how I look at the 2 charts. I put 2 charts up, natal and progression. Now with natal, this is based on what your parents were going through before and after your conception. Through that, you've inherited your strengths, your weaknesses, your overall astrological code. You keep this chart up like a piggy bank. It's the influences you have. It's the trends that's going to be most personal to you. It's the tools you have. It's the weapons. It's the things that could be used against you. Be conscious of this. The green part, we're going to call that free will. This lets you know the different seasons that you'll walk through. How do you measure it? Just like every 30 to 31 days, the collective moves into a different sun sign. Well, every 30 to 31 years in progression, you personally will move into a different sun sign. You'll be 3 to 5, depending on how long you live, sun signs, seasons, and also how many degrees of wisdom, these numbers here, that you were born with. Now, since you're born with a 17-degree Aquarius sun, and since this is like my first time, I want to make sure everything's correct doing this, right? I want to make sure everything's correct at the top. So just went February, everything looks good, right?
Yes. February, baby.
Yes, Aquarius. Since you're born with 17 degrees, Everything has to add up to 30 when you move into the next season. When you were 13 years old, when you were 13 years old, you moved into Pisces.
Ooh,
You've been a Pisces for 12 years.
I knew it.
13 plus 12 should be about where your age is. Either we round up or we round down. Make sense? 25.
Perfect.
So we will go to 13. New season. We're looking at middle school. Astro's moving into a new season. She's moving into Piscean. She's activating her moon. She's a Pisces moon. Where do you feel like you probably go from this air energy to now water? Go into your background, shadow work, hidden, introverted. Where does life become mutable for you? Changeable, maybe even the shift with father, which also translates to identity. We're looking at middle school. Can you see how you shifted around that time to Piscean?
Most definitely during middle school, that's where the first sign of depression hit for me right at 13. So it was I actually failed a grade. I had to repeat 7th grade again because my depression was so bad that I couldn't focus in school. So I can tell Pisces in the mind. My mind was somewhere else.
Thank you for your confirmations.
Thank you.
This also asks you about movement, where you were living, location, and it even aspects your moon, your mom, and how this the important the relationship with her. And since it is Piscean, where you felt hidden, projected on by parents, misunderstood, and where you could still feel that because you're still in this Pisces season. You're 12 years in. Remember, everything has to add up to 30. So you got 18 more years until now you move into Aries. Now, degrees are important. You're in a 12th degree now. It's super Piscean for you. 12-12. Pisces, 12th house, 12th degree. So this last year, it's been very important getting into your shadow work and even finding different gifts, because this is actually a great placement in realizing that you have untapped gifts. We have things that you put on the shelf. It's time for you to put back to Virgo. Find more consistency in, make it real. How can this become more practical? Things that I may feel that are more magical, not as tangible, and it doesn't always make sense to society. It is a 12th house. This is 12th energy, 12th degree energy. So it is a time that can feel like you are operating within loneliness, or where you can feel like, how do I work with others, but also have a healthy sense of solitude? Because this is still nice in that as well. How have you felt? And can you see how this 12th degree Piscean energy has made sense for this year? How you been feeling with Piscean? 12th degree.
Honestly, now I always knew that I was working off of Pisces, especially with how emotional and like the ride from middle school and what you were saying in a sense of talents. I was a dancer since I could walk. I started choreographing actual dances and performing them for my middle school at when I was in 5th grade. I'm not sure what age that was, but from there I just continued dancing, and that was the only thing that I could keep solid and keep consistent with the depression and all the emotions that I had. I at the time was actually I was getting like counseling because I wouldn't show like how I truly felt. Like my face, I always looked angry in my baby pictures, videos, I always looked angry. I never really understood how to express my love for people until in middle school after I had failed 7th grade, which seemed like the end of the world. I had met really great people, especially a girl who was my friend who taught me how to say like I love you, give hugs, say like show appreciation in the sense that not that I just didn't know how and I was suppressing it because I don't know if I could handle that Pisces energy at that time.
And this shows on the moon, because the moon is how you feel, express yourself. And when it's in Piscean, it's unsure. It's not too clear. And that's why I always look at natal chart. It's giving yourself grace.
Hmm.
Because based on what you come from, what you've inherited from your parents, from that conception, that connection. Sun is connected to father, how he feels before and after conception. It's also an ancestral placement, so it rules your great-grandfather to your great-grandson. It's how you deal with your inner and outer masculinity. It's also how you operate within men in your life. Now, 17 degrees Aquarius, this is a star, baby, and your hair is important in this lifetime. Your hair, your face, but this is the
Wow.
visual and that overall basis there is important. All your life, your headspace. And also, you are a certain daughter. This could be by gender, only girl, first girl, baby girl. There's a centered girl there as daughter.
Only girl.
And because this 17th degree is a Leo degree, fame has always followed you. You've always been in areas where you've stuck out, where the spotlight is always on you, even if it's in an Aquarian way, in an uncomfortable way.
Yes. I've learned to now embrace that spotlight, but before I didn't want it, but I knew it always followed me, so I had no other choice.
When you walk in a room, people want to stare. They can't help it. So 17s, Leo degrees, you showcase a sense of yourself where other people feel like, oh my God, can I identify with this? Or what kind of identity is this? Or it's just light. It's Leo. It's an Aquarian way. So it's an alternative way that still brings light, a different way that brings light. Or it's in a space where Aquarian can put you in social circles where you're like a culture clash. You're like, you open up progression for them. You open up assimilation for them in ways where you have to be open-minded.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
when you are in rooms that way, you shine the most. When you're allowed to operate in this going against the system, but also being a light at the same time. And this has followed you in life with being an Aquarian. Because once you're connected to Saturn, you do take off your parents' head in some way. Capricorns and Aquariuses, you don't go their route. You don't go their way. You find your own path, baby. I'm doing my own way. And this could mean that they're like, you know what? Give me my last name back. Let me take back my support because you are fixed. So that's another thing in life with finances, resources, how you have to create your life, create your stability because you do have those degrees. 8 degrees is on the moon.
I was working at the age of 15, had to learn how to be independent. My dad is a Scorpio, so he definitely taught me how to fend for myself. So
Fixed. And this will be an important part of your journey as well. And since you have this fixed energy on the sun, it opens up where you're in control of how you bring in your income. Because this is going to be the thing with fixed, working for others. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius can be a little troubling. I got to wait for a paycheck? I got to wait for someone to tell me what I'm worth? I don't think so. That's already something I'm working toward. So now I have to experience it externally. Uncomfortable for fixed. Plus, when you're a fixed, every time you get a job, you never get the position you applied for. They put you in something else. So that journey. But with that 17th degree in Aquarius, it's best that you do something on a platform, something where you can showcase a gift and art. And even when you want to go into certain themes of multiple streams of income, when you want to go into products as well in this lifetime, and other forms of artistry, because you just like to create when you have fixed energy.
artists right here, literally been doing drawings, art, digital art, oil paintings for I don't even know how long, and also dance. Those are my number 2 main things that I really love to do.
Your Saturn is in fixed, your nodes is in fixed, and even your rising. It's in Sagittarius, but it's a fixed degree, 20 degrees, Scorpio. Now, when we have fixed and mutable, wanting stability, but things are so changeable. How do I make this constant? So that's going to be questions in life. How do I keep my creativity constant? Because it's the source of my stability, resources. How do I keep that constant? And this could have been a journey with parents, family, especially when you were, especially as you came out of high school and getting into like college and wanting to figure out what the next direction is. How do I balance the fact that I want to create, but in a world where it's about what is like social constructs, where it's about what are you doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? How are you keeping up?
Exactly.
So when I see these placements, sometimes looking at multiple streams of income, different avenues you can go into. And maybe in this lifetime, you might have to do some part-time work, part-time stuff to bring some income on the back end in some way. But you got to center your art because you love it too much. You love it so much. So it's not even too much. It is for you. But mutable energy means that sometimes you might need to go part-time, take a break, redirect.
That makes sense.
That's going to be the basis of dad. Because you see dad in a fixed way. Aquarius. So dad could have a theme where he's always looking at Aquarius, 11th house type themes. Astro, what are you going to do with your money later? What do you have when you're going to get older? You're going to get into when you're out of this stage. What are you going to be able to afford? Where's your emergency funding? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are their resources like? Because that's another thing when you're fixed. Your parents can be really big on how you spend your money and who you spend your money with.
Exactly.
That basis there.
I will say, as a Scorpio, he was my source of like income when I didn't have a job, especially when COVID happened. He was just like my pillow for me to fall on almost. So shout out to him. But he always did have a conversation with me. It's not a day that goes by where it's just like, all right, so what now? Like, what we gonna do now? How are we gonna make money now? Like, I have a partner now. How is your partner going to support you? And how are you going to support each other? What are you going to do? So.
And that's big for him as a Scorpio, since that can be one of the testimonies, the lessons in his life. When it comes to you can save and you can have a lot of abundance, but you can meet a certain person or certain people that can now jeopardize that. Because that's been a part of his story as well as a Scorpio, his personal, intimate relationships. And since you are fixed, even the one with your mom, because fixed love can be a little hot. Love where it's at the basis where it's about how do we learn to let go when it's over? Or where a parent can still feel like you owe me and I owe you. And since you have fixed energy where that can be part of your persona as well. And how that acts you in life, how you will share, who I will share with as a fixed.
It's a little bit troubled too, because my mom is a Taurus sun with a Pisces moon. So we both are Pisces moons. So I would think we were close. We were close when I was younger, but now older, we just do not get along whatsoever.
Now, even though like if you look in like if you were to research like Google Scorpio and Aquarius, it will square. It'll see that this relationship is tough. It squares. But I've seen that it actually flows when they learn to accept each other, fully accept each other, and even take the relationship to something more peer-like, like not as child and father or child and parent, or more in a space where we start to look at the child as an individual. So this could have gotten better as you gotten older with your father and just more transparent. Now he's still fixed. So with both parents, they're still fixed. So there's still an energy of stubbornness. And they also have resource, money, budgeting, their own conversations there. And they can project that onto you since you're fixed. Now, Taurus energy, it squares. And I've seen it troubled with Aquarius and Taurus, troubled. It's too far apart. One is the first of the fixed, one is the last of the fixed. The reason why Scorpio can understand Aquarius because they're both about shared resources. And they come after each other in the cycle of fixed. But Taurus is too far out. So there could be things about mom where she hoards things, grudges, perspectives, mindsets, things that are just immovable. You won't be able to understand that as especially an air. And it's so detached because you want variety. And you may also feel like the past is something you may always want to hold on to. Got to move forward. Your energy of progression, especially as a Saturnian, Saturn associated, where as you get older, it gets better. As you've gotten older, it's gotten better. That can be for all Saturnian children, Capricorn and Aquarius. Because now you start to feel like I'm allowed to act my age, understand my seriousness. But mom, since it's Taurus energy, that square can be tough because she has to unpack things that are in her way.
Mm-hmm.
Now the moon being a Piscean, it's not a placement that can't open up closeness with mother because the moon is home in water. And the moon is exalted in earth. It's that 8th degree that's there that now opens up the basis of the intensity. Now, if mom was more transparent, more open, and even allowed you to open up questions with her, debate, open up your curiosity, and just because with the 8th degree on the moon, secrets, things that she's trying to work with her own shames. Because with her meeting dad, Taurus, and Scorpio, that's a little scandalous. Ooh.
Very.
So she can have a theme where she rather just no talk. Let's not talk about it. Doesn't have to be there. Let's ignore it. Elephants in the room. When you
Like it never
obviously
happened.
that 8th degree. So that's what can be what bothers you, that you just want to know why. So this fog between us can clear.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're fixed, that's a big thing with fixed energy. There has to come to unpacking their shame, especially through their sacral chakra, the way they've connected with others, shared themselves. That's another thing with fixed couples, connections, the in-laws. They can have in-laws that's still trying to accept them. They can come from like your parents could come from a connection where they had to be very protective of it because maybe their sides of family didn't always get along, didn't always accept each other. So this thing she would have to explain to you. And she first has to accept them in herself. And with Taurus, she's trying to figure out self-value from the core. You're a little bit more wiser than her, even though you're her child. You have 2 placements that are the last signs of the zodiac. Very wise. She's the 2nd sign, the baby.
Sure acts like one. That makes sense with the mood swings, with just the lack of trying to understand her, especially now at this age, since I'm not so full of teenage hate for my mother in a sense, but in the sense of trying to understand why she is this way, why she can't communicate with me, why can't she just sit with me and let go of the past, especially with my depression. It took a toll on her as well. Me as a kid and her having to always try to be there for me, but never really knowing how to be there for me in a sense. So it makes sense.
As a mutable moon and even having mutable placements, you are the teacher, the guide. You open up conversations. You're the one that's opening up therapy and even Piscean forms. We're even like Piscean will go to astral projection, hypnosis. They'll do all types of things to get into the core of what is this issue. But since it's been mutable for your mom, she's even with this conception, she could feel like you were a surprise. There's things that didn't go really planned. Did she have the awareness? So there could be times where she's still trying to figure herself out, which means that she's figuring you out.
Mm-hmm.
So on this moon, she can feel confused sometimes or not too sure how she wants to communicate with you, but this is something you guys share on the moon. Now, with Piscean, it's a sign of forgiveness and realizing where some people will never change. It's the last sign. So there's going to be certain parts in life where you might realize in these spaces, this is just who this person is.
100%.
Especially now with these transits, Saturn, Neptune, sitting with you closely. And from the gate with Aquarius, your Saturn, Aquarius, Capricorn, it's already I may not, there is probability I will not follow the route of my parents. High probability. Cardinal in general, but definitely Capricorn, Saturn, Aquarius energy. Not only with just Aquarius being Saturn associated, but also Uranus, where I won't even go certain parts of society, my culture, my background, where that's another thing as well with Aquarian. 17 degrees. Or even fitting in with your people that look like you and how that's been.
That's super touchy. My background is I'm Dominican, Taino, Black Indigenous, and Haitian. So I never really got in, like, I didn't fit in with Dominicans. I didn't fit in with white people. I didn't fit in with anybody. I would be called names about my skin color, how I look dirty, but they look the same as me. So how are we not the same? It would just I also never really understood or knew my background until I was 20 years old. So I never really even fully knew. I just thought I was just Dominican. I grew up, my mom would take me every Saturday to the salon to straighten my hair because I have this afro. Like you said in the beginning, hair is an important thing for me, which it is now. This is why I express myself as Astro with the afro, because I am now free to express who I really am. And I was always hidden from the truth of who I am. So my mom tried to, in a sense, kind of whitewash me. She's the type of Dominican where she's like, I'm Dominican, I'm no black. So I had to live on, unfortunately, with not knowing with who I am and what I identify with. So
And Saturnians will, especially in spaces of color, will feel this way in some way. Aquarius, definitely. Now you're rising. Your rising is the first thing people see when you walk in the room. It's how you initiate one-on-one dynamics, and it's based on how your parents got along, how they couldn't get along, the whole visual of it. And now this is how you walk in the room and try to get along with others. 20 degrees, Scorpio. Astro, sometimes there's a little jealousy around you, girl. Why you? Why do you get that? Why do you feel this way? And also where this is coming to spaces where it's, how do I really build relationships with women?
yes, ma'am.
We got 8 on the moon, Scorpio, 20 on the rising, Scorpio. This is around you. So don't think you're making things up. And it could be platonic reasons. They can't read you, or you're just a little intense. They feel like you're intense. They feel like there's something about your energy where it's like they have to confront things, or it's Martian, platonic Martian to them.
Even in relationships. So.
Alexa says they know when she walks in the room, big change is coming, definitely.
Hello. Scorpio rising, aka shake the room.
You heard? So that energy there. And it's mutable. Mutable on the moon, mutable on the rising. Sometimes it could just be the way you speak, your intellect. It could be definitely in spaces when people feel like you're maybe the conversations you're opening up are too wide for them. So that's gonna be another thing with having mutable placements where you need to dumb it down or smarten it up, but it's gonna be rooms where you have to be really conscious of this. Also with the Sagittarius rising, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So sometimes it's your tone in life that's also going to follow you.
It sure is.
Write them out first and then speak them, because there's things that you're just going to have to say tough. Like if it comes off tough, I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. Thank you. I don't know what to tell you, and I'm gonna say it anyways, but I'm gonna try to tone it down a little bit so you can comprehend what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, I just want understanding, and I just want you to see the principles and the bigger picture and just wake up, like, I'm emotional too, but let's look at the logic side, let's look at the facts, let's look at the truth, and this is the truth. I cannot shut up when I know the truth. I can't. That's my problem.
And your rising doesn't want you to. Writing, the reason why I want to open up writing, because since it's fixed degrees, um, a lot of depth in the way you speak, where it can go into publications, it can go into things where people can even pay to hear this, pay to read this, because you're also great with investigation, searching, a piercing way of coming into information with these degrees. It's mutable. The only thing is that it's mutable. So you might be varied. A little study here, a little study there, study here, project there, but there's still intense investigation you can go into. Where if you love it, if you like it, you love it. And you'll read on it, research it, you'll get books on it, all basis there. Figure out what those three things are. Pick three. You're mutable. So start with the first mutable sign, Gemini. That basis there. Also pick things that where you can build a series with.
Pick three things in a sense of what I would like to talk about or just focus on in a sense.
Focus. If it was certain type of departments you want to work with, it like working with
Okay.
like long term, and also when you're doing like because these are great placements for like like the podcast, things for like
Spoke a lot about
speaking
that.
engagements. That basis there. Try to see if you could just jot 3 topics whenever you have a sit down with yourself. 3 will just help you out. Maybe it'll even give you especially as a fix. Sometimes fix is like big production.
Hello.
Light, camera,
Exactly.
mutable is like, so mutable will help you out, like, well, at least having a series you can build. You already had 3 you jot down, so
Okay.
you'll be able to like have variety. You won't feel like you need to maybe focus on just one thing at a time, and then it keeps you stuck there as a fix. So that's the thing with the 3 energy, because when fix, since it's big on like production, it can do one big project and
Mhm.
then that's it, stuck. Put all their energy into one thing, and then that's it. And then they're like, I need more momentum coming out of it. Where mutable is like, go here, go there, keep it moving, keep consistency. So start with the first 3. Whenever I see a mutable, jot down 3 things. What are your 3 favorite things? What are the 3 things that's always on your mind? You're focusing there. And also see how you can find this one idea and branch it into 3 ways. My favorite is like, let's say you're into like culinary, a cookbook, cookware, a cooking show.
Spirituality is definitely one of them. That's the first thing that just popped up into my head. It's something I love to talk about, go depths into people with.
Spiritual space where you could publicly speak, engage, forum, a book, an ebook. And then spiritually where you could do something as a practice. Physical practice. You have fixed a product. You could do that with the product energy as well. Now you're also Aquarius and Pisces, so where you don't mind being behind the screen, behind the camera. So behind the camera. So where you even want to build other people, open up space
Exactly.
for other people to grow. You have 20 degrees and 8 degrees, so you're also an investor into others.
A little bit too much sometimes.
So that as well with the mutable. Your Pisces and Aquarius, since they're the last signs of the chart, they're refuge spaces for people. Even as this Aquarius energy, you anyone who comes into contact with you, they may feel like they're being alienated by their family,
Mhm.
society. They don't know where they fit in. They're struggling with identity in the world, so they come to you because you can be the keeper of these people. Aquarius can build a whole cult of the people of like where they're the underdogs.
Oh,
So Alexis says she is looking at the comments as well. See if anyone has any questions. Alexis, a bowl. I like that. So even looking at that. Now even when looking at the chart, see where there's a lot of bulk.
Okay.
The house is a 10. If we break it down in quadrants, from Sagittarius to Aquarius, first quadrant. So a strong understanding with how I come into the world, communicate into the world, support systems, how I support myself, what I like, my value points, my skill sets, my interests. Home life is important. So this is also a journey where have I felt displaced? What is my home? Like what? Also, even questions now with movement. Do I want to go long distance, short distance? And since there's mutable and more immutable energy coming in 2026, is this going to be a long-term move or a short-term move? How long is these? Like, where am I going to be at in these next 2 years? How far am I planning for these next 2 years?
You said home is a very important topic, and I have, quite frankly, never felt at home, especially because my home was very not functional, especially with my mother. So I was born in the city. I was born in Manhattan, so I'm technically a city girl, but I don't want to be. I would rather be out. I remember I went out to Nashville, Tennessee, and it was so beautiful to me to just be out in the country, be out, there's quiet nature around. It was somewhere I truly felt comfortable, where I didn't want to go back. But with my career and where I'm going, New York City is the best route in a sense, but it's not my favorite place.
Few ways of looking at this, right? Aquarius, that's why it'll be the best route. You immediately, because Piscean is going to want to bring you by water, away from everyone,
Exactly.
the nature. But Aquarius is like, we need to be around people, air. Also, having this type of degree, if you've lived in small towns, if you would live in a small town with this degree, you would always be that girl that everyone's like, you know her
Yeah.
hair, her face, man, you know what I'm talking about. So you would want to go into the city for Aquarius so you can see all different people that looks like you,
Exactly.
or that you can find more of that air energy support groups, especially to motivate you. And also as a Piscean, while it can sound good being a small town and having this type of influence, your Piscean can feel a little trouble with, do people see me clearly? Am I just objectified? So
Especially
that's
with
why
my
this.
Scorpio, I feel like I give off like sex symbol type of things. So people just look at me in a sense of, oh, she's a model, she's pretty. But I'm just like, no, hello, I do art, I do this, I do dance, I do all of this. Like, I'm not just my looks.
Definitely with Scorpio, sex symbol energy. That's why the girlies can be like, about to take my
Right.
man. Because that energy there, but you're also such a superpower. That's the thing with these with platonic energy. You give power to other women to be just as
Hmm.
sensual.
I feel like I'm more powerful when I'm putting women up, and I'm just like, no, no, come. Like, look, you could be a baddie too. Let's be baddies together. Like,
And Aquarius even helps you with knowing how to be fluid in it, androgynous in it, flowy, detached even from it. The 8 degrees might be things that just naturally follow you. But you're working on this Aquarius, but as you grow into this Aquarius energy further and further, you'll start to see how you become a symbol for everyone in many ways. Because your air is your sun is semi-masculine.
I
Your
knew
rising
it.
is masculine.
I always say I feel like I'm 50-50. Sometimes I dress really androgynous, sometimes I'm out here looking real bad, and sometimes I just like to lay low or something. Makes sense.
Piscean energy makes you a chameleon. So it's the vibe. It's the flow of the day. It's the how I my sensory feeling. That's the thing with Piscean energy. That's why it rules all of that sensory sensitivity. This transit's opening all these conversations. Well, that was the thing with you. You had that sensory sensitivity. You weren't there wasn't great or especially as a mutable energy, um, better counselors, a better sense of diagnosis. And when you're Piscean, people can misdiagnose you.
Mm.
They can't already pinpoint or see you. So that's when you have Piscean children, um, mutable in general, get second references. As a mutable, you're gonna have to do second like double backs anyway. You're connected to Mercury retrogrades, but Piscean, it's very sensitive because these children they'll just read the room, reflect it back to you, repeat what you say, or just hide it. So you could have even been misdiagnosed with Piscean energy, sensitive placement. So that's another theme with this moon. Not seeing clearly. That's people not seeing you clearly.
Alexis says, "Don't box that Aquarius in, baby." And I always thought that I was boxing in my Pisces, but really, probably been boxing in my Aquarius. I thought my Aquarius was the reason why I'm so introverted and just don't want to be around people. But like you're saying, air elements need to be around people. And that's something that I've been trying to teach myself. I was not very fond of the human race, but because I wasn't so fond of the human race, as I got older, I said, let me surround myself with them. Let me help. Because at the end of the day, I feel like my purpose here is to show people love, to show people who they truly are, and to be comfortable with who they are and love who they are. Because I know what it's like when you don't. So,
Aquarius and Piscean, safe spaces. And exactly how you're interpreting it. Because in like intangible, it will be a Piscean Aquarius that creates like halfway houses, rehabilitation centers, camps, programs for people, areas, spaces for people that may feel like they can't really handle the hustle and bustle of the world,
mhm,
or they can't really identify. So in physical realms, you can create this as well. Because that's the thing for Piscean Aquarius placements, where they have had their own journeys and being in the outskirts. These placements can be susceptible to homelessness, displacement, spaces where there are couch. How that's just themes of what does me and possessions, that connection really mean. So its own journeys here. And even with this moon, you are a traveler. You have placements with this moon and rising where you're if you want to have like two major locations that you live in, you have Aquarius energy or fixed energy. It's all on how you want to create this life. Maybe you'll have one placement where it's with people where it's more city like, but then this Piscean's when you want to get away for your mental health. You have a little beach house,
exactly.
little vacation space in both areas because it's going to pull you in these directions. But they both represent getting away, not always fitting in. Now I'm going to round out with the perfections chart. Before I go into the perfections, always want to ask, how do you feel? Do you have any questions for the natal chart?
I do have, I'm sorry, I do have a question for the natal chart actually. Since, as you can see in my chart, I have a lot of Pisces in there, my moon, my Mercury, and also my Mars. How do I like anchor all of that? Because is that not a lot of emotion in a lot of important planets?
Definitely. Even with your Mars being in water, it's big because that means that really working on that emotional well-being and just for our temper.
Mm,
And it sits in that I see like near that fourth, like that basis of that fourth house.
mhm,
It's home life, and just I need my own space, my own area. Once you find that, peace of mind will flow. Once you impact certain things where I may never have to communicate, I may never be able to communicate or be seen this way. For maybe the closest people to me, my fourth house, my family. There's certain things even in my early upbringing where it's just going to always stay a fog in certain ways. I have to learn how to uncover that. Then they'll come to find that peace. You may find that you need some distance from all that you knew before to really reflect. But with Mars being in water, anyone who has Mars in water, that's a placement from gate. There was something underneath the household that didn't always make you feel emotionally protected, emotionally safe.
Exactly.
So now whenever you get upset, you refer back to that feeling, and you can sometimes go nuts. Mars in Cancer, Mars in Scorpio, Mars in Pisces. Like you'll revert back to that feeling of emotionally unsafe and go berserk. That's a great place. A placement that can really tame this is Mars in air and Mars in earth. We can be a
Okay.
little more slow. And also the house. That's very important. And it's in Piscean. Questions where I might even ask you, ask you, why am I mad? Where did this come from? Am I blindsided by this feeling? Is this something that just popped up? And also as mutables, you can take on other people, like the room's feelings. You're easily stimulated. You can get easily distracted. That's another thing when you're
Mhm.
mutable energy. So sometimes even asking yourself, is this my feeling or the feelings of the room that I was just in? That's why healthy forms of solitude is important for Piscean. All mutables will take in the room like a sponge. And mutables are service oriented. They want to give off, they want to help, help others find shortcuts, guides. So you're going to absorb the room in this way. So you can be like, how can I help?
Exactly.
But since it's in water near your moon, when do you working on leaving those things outside of the home, leaving them at the door when it's time to come into your safe space? A little hard for Mars and water.
Is it
Very
safe to say, I'm sorry, is it safe to say with all the Pisces in my chart, Pisces twin is Virgo? Is it safe to say, is that probably the reason why I have so many Virgos in my life? My partner is also a Virgo. So,
bringing in that practicality. And even if they're still figuring out their own way,
mhm,
where they're still trying to help you ground it, where they even helping you find the patterns in it. Like you get mad all the time about this turns you up in a way. Anytime I do
mhm,
this in this way, it turns you up, and that could help you in realizing this is the habit that this person has that gets me to
exactly.
this point. They'll help you in that way. Now Virgo quincunx Aquarius. So that's its own story with how you guys are working on
Mm,
autonomy versus connection, because these are two signs that can feel, how would life be alone? So that's another question with Virgo and Aquarius, and just that connection, building habit together, because you both are strong in Aquarius, my own creativity, my own self-expression, where I've already operated in being the one and only. In Virgo, other people's mess, other people's habits, other people's whoa, Virgo really needs to work on how much do I want to be service to that, be attached to that. Because Virgo already
exactly.
stabs themselves.
Exactly. Seen it with my own 2 eyes. And I'm always there to let them know, like, "Hey, you're self-sabotaging. You're better than that." If it's one sign that I just don't let slide with, like, not knowing principles is Virgos, because to me, I feel like Virgos, in a sense, can have this understanding, like, of logic. Like, "Yo, you know what I'm talking about, right?" Type, and that's why I feel like I've had strong relationships with Virgos in a sense. And speaking on relationships and onto that, you were saying that I have a masculine energy as well with the sun in Aquarius. I have had more relationships with women, and I always had to present the masculinity more in that relationship. So it's all lining up.
Explains the Virgo energy. Spontaneous, didn't think this was happening, and just even spaces of what Virgo needs to work on in their own path, their body. So why this is another form of learning your body, learning
Exactly.
touch, important for Virgo. And relationships are just going to be important for you with having an 8 degree, having
Really?
six
Okay.
Scorpio degrees, fixed signs, those base, they're important. That, and also how you guys budget, build, share. As a
Exactly.
fixed dominance or fixed energy degrees, it can be money that even just breaks the relationship up. So just have those honest talks, even if it's a little uncomfortable. Because fixed signs, that can really be the deal breakers. How we share, how we're sharing, what your values were, how you were taught values, how I was taught values, and how we come together with that. So just always for fixed. I'm triple fixed. So once I feel like I'm going a little bit broke, everybody's getting everybody's getting it.
It's like not the best time. You're mad at the world. Like, I don't want to hear nothing.
I don't have anything to give right now. So like it's just like energy there. And it's also a placement of gratitude as well. So that's the thing too with having fixed degrees, fixed energy. What is the values, but also what is priceless in life? What is things that money cannot buy?
I'm always stressing that. I'm always stressing that. I would rather have no job than to work a job where I am not happy. Like, I'm not happy. It's not working for my mental health. It's not giving me any time to work on my art, my creativity side. So I'd rather go broke than to live a life making money and being miserable off of something that doesn't fulfill or feed my soul. Like, I just can't.
I know every fix because I felt every fix, same thing. Once they said during the pandemic, you don't have to turn, like, you can stay home. I was like, oh, you ain't gotta tell me nothing.
Everybody crying, talking about, oh, I can't take this. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm great.
Fixed energy. Now I'm gonna go to the perfections. Love this chart because this helps you like plan. We can go year by year, month by month, day by day. Love this one. So I want to make sure everything's correct at top. 17, 18, perfect. So I want to switch it. Perfect. So with the perfections chart, I love this chart because while we will always have goals, our dreams, all of that, very important. But there'll be certain years where we might steer away from it. And there'll be certain years where we get closer to it. And to know this now helps you plan accordingly. And this chart has helped me do that, like even to the day. Now I'm looking at annually. Important to look at annually because if you know the focus of the year, you'll now know your strongest months because it'll identify with the year. And then now your strongest days. Mutable years. Mutable years are when things don't always go as planned. You got to go back to the drawing board, refocus. Spaces where a year where you might even have to ask yourself, should I take a break, go part-time, maybe take a vacation, go into a little bit of some solitude. It can be a year of even confusion. And even ask you spaces, even putting you in spaces where you don't even want to make a choice. Let's just take on the experience. And those years will be Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo. Cardinal years, Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, Libra. These are going to be years where you put your feelings to the side. You got momentum. You got things to do. It's time to grow up and mature. You're going to make decisions this year, get paperwork going. And these are the years where you should launch, and you'll have the momentum to. So even throughout the year, working on rest, taking breaks because you're on some powerhouse energy with Cardinal. With fixed years, you're going to look at your finances. What can you afford? What you start saving up for? It's also years of relationships. Who your friends are, what connections you have going on, how you're sharing with them, what you need to purge in these environments as well. But it's a year of where is my support? How do I support? So this birthday, mutable, came in Sagittarius. Redirection. Also with that Sagittarius energy, what do I believe in? So it's like you're coming into another year of faith. Also, Sagittarius, Mercury went direct in Sagittarius this year. So where you even ask yourself to take more trips, plan something, open up more of excursions, even if it's like short plane rides, drives, train ride, but you want to open up more, some sort of movement in your life. Now your birthday, since this start of your birthday, mutable. That means your birthday was a mutable energy, a mutable day. Things don't always go as planned. But you did want to go somewhere, though. It's as if there was an option to go somewhere. Go out of your city, go out of your town. Maybe someone pulled you out. But it was a mutable month. And since your birthday starts the 7th, every 7th will be a new month for you, a new season. So from February 7th to February 6th, it was mutable. Also looking at cycles. Mutable, the cycles are going to build up. If it's a mutable energy here, your next mutable month is going to connect to that. 90 days. So May 7th, mutable. Things don't go as planned. It was Piscean. So where around May, you feel like you need to do some shadow work, and you also need to look at things you weren't always focusing on. Mm-hmm. It was even a financial time for you. What can I afford? What have I been affording? What kind of tools can I start investing in? Tools I can start purchasing. Mutable energy. That's why you need to go back to the drawing board. So it was energies of where you can even change your mind, where I started to change my mind. That was another thing with your birthday as well, where you had other options, but it was, what decision do I want to make? Why did I change my mind on the day of my birthday? So mutable, February is mutable, May is mutable, August, this upcoming August is going to be mutable, and November will be mutable. So these are months where you're like, oh, it might go for a doozy. I might need to take a step back, refocus, and just look at the drawing board a little bit. Take a break, go part-time. That basis there as well will come about. Can you see how that mutable energy, even with the start of the year, your birthday?
100%. My birthday didn't go as planned, which made me not like it because I was just like, I guess with that fix, I was just like, I'm a person when we plan something, it better be the plan. Even if I'm hanging out with someone, okay, I'll meet you at this time, this place. I need like a plan in advance before doing anything. I don't like pop-ups or anything like that. I don't like things changing. Sorry. I don't like things changing. It just I can be mutable to it. I can change like with it as well, but I just don't do well when it comes to my birthday and the way I wanted it. It didn't go the way as planned, but I I can definitely see the mutable.
And for anyone who starts a mutable birthday year, it will aspect this way. So if it's mutable, it's like open up options for yourself. Open up more of a not as judgy, rigid year. Because the whole year can feel like things don't go as planned. Let me just go with the flow.
And that's another thing. I feel like I had to learn how to surrender this year to whatever it is that was planned, ever like fell to plan. It was just I can't like I'm not God himself where I can change this up. So just go with it at this point and don't like kill yourself over and kill your mind over things that are not going to plan.
I'm going to change the screen. So I'm going to stop share. So one moment.
How did you fully surrender? Was there anything you did differently? I suffer a lot from overthinking. So, um, in a sense, I can't stop when it comes to overthinking things. So what I do now is I try to just interrupt my negative thought with a positive. So for example, um if I'm sitting here like fast example, if I'm sitting here and saying today sucked or something, oh well, this happened today. Oh well, I woke up today. Like I always try to fight the negative thoughts that I have with positive, since I know my head won't shut up. I can't guarantee you your head won't shut up. If especially if you're like me and you're an overthinker, just try to combat it as well. And you start doing that over the years. And once you start doing that, it gets easier. And now I'm less negative than I was before. Like I was saying in the beginning of the live, I suffered with depression really badly from the age of 13. I didn't even see myself. I'm 24 now. I didn't even see myself hitting 16. Yeah, I did. So it takes time. It really does take time. And the combat that you have with the negativity gets more powerful than the negative thoughts in your mind. So,
You're having heavy placements, 20 degrees, 8 degrees, Saturnian energy. And just even to go back to your natal chart, you're your south node. So your sun is your south node energy. So even how you've had to you're doing this again, figuring out this base of identity, I am. And you come from a past life of Aquarian. So that could be that heaviness that you felt since youth. I stick out. I don't fit in. I came from a past life where I was alienated, told, cast out, get out of here. In some way, Aquarian energy, where I had to go build my own crew, my own area. And now you've come into this lifetime again, doing the same thing. But guess what? Now you get to Leo. Put it on a stage. Get celebrated for it. With Piscean, it rules prisons, insane asylums, rehab centers. So where you may have felt like you were imprisoned in your own body at some points in life. Well, you can still feel that way. Most Pisceans can go into this point. Some Pisceans, when they're unevolved, can end up in these areas. Mutables.
And also, can I say, for Rose, you're still struggling with the control. You're going to keep struggling with it. And the universe has a funny way of teaching you to stop. Just stop and let it be. If you won't let it be, I'm going to show you how to let it be. So don't let it get to that point where the universe is just like, all right, she's not letting go. So let me show you.
Real facts. That's actually one of the things that I have to process a lot as a triple fix.
Mm-hmm.
That if I don't let go, and it's been really important, especially as Taurus and Scorpio and Leo, so placements that can be rigid and possessive, for me to flow, because that'll be it, losing things in major way, which I've experienced, where there's things where I've literally watched them just roll from in front of my face away from me.
So traumatic too. It can be so traumatic. You have no choice but to let go of the control at that point. So
now just want to break down the other modalities.
Yes.
Cardinal years, get busy, go forward, take initiative, even the months. So March of this year, June of this year, last month, and now September, upcoming September, you'll feel like it's time to get serious. Gotta mature. You're gonna even get the momentum within those 30 days. Where you want to do, be in front of the office, launch new projects. So look towards where March into April, June into July, and then September into October, where this starts to build. Why June was important for you. Early parts of June, with your platform, with other spaces that you want to get, like paperwork, licenses, structure, applications you want to put out. You're going to start to feel the same way. In September, Cardinal. So if you feel like right now you're just flowing, because Cardinal, once you center the energy, it gives you more of a strong point. That's why I like these charts, because sometimes it's just not that time right now. You're not in that momentum. The energy doesn't want to support this right now. It could be a month where you're supposed to be relaxing and you're like, I got to work. So everything is just going left.
Exactly.
So this helps you now center that. The months will ask you about relationships, what you're affording. It'll be a little personal for you as a fix. So these might be like heavy months for you, because now it's about self-worth. What is self-worth? And even the self-worth of those are closest to you, your relationships. Mm-hmm. So April into May, so April 7th into May 6th, Aquarius. It's even centering your sun. So the love life, the friends, the stability becomes a focus. So you look towards your next month. Right now, it's in that energy as well.
July.
Relationships, focus, finance started since the 7th. So started 5 days ago. So last week when it just switched, went into that. And then your next one will be October into November. Just to help you
And
balance that out.
is that cardinal?
Fixed.
Oh, fixed. How do I work with the fixed in that moment?
If since it's resources, I know this might be a money month for me. So maybe I should start saving up for this month. It could be a little tricky during these times. I don't know where the resource is coming from. So let me make sure I save up these months. These are relationship months for me. So these are months where it could be a little like argumentative. We're not getting along. We need to sit down and figure out where we're working this out. This is with lovers and with friends and family, all types of partnerships. So you'll prepare for that. Also, in positive settings is when you want to buy new equipment. So why this is also a time where you want some new stuff. You want to get even a little luxurious. You want to throw some things away and bring some new things in, maybe redecorate.
Okay.
So you would save for that as well. So I use this chart to build up. So then I'm not like sideswiped by the energy where it's like, I don't know what's happening. It lets you know. And it's through cycles. So whatever you build now, whatever you're in now in this Taurus energy, you started since April in this Aquarius energy. And now whatever you do in this Taurus energy, you're going to build in October in this Leo energy. Okay. And know that they square each other. So where you might even, you change your mind from April to now. You're going to change your mind a little bit from now to October because it squares.
Exactly.
And then this is my favorite, the end. Like, so this is where we could work with real time. That's all my favorite. But I like this one because it's like a fun thing. We could do it now.
Right.
And these are the days.
Okay.
So we can go to today. And we're going to go to July. And it's July 12th. Libra Day. Cardinal Day, we got some work to do. We're going to put some things out. We got some momentum. Although, so also a Libra Day, me and you doing this one-on-one.
Okay.
Libra, what is cardinal energy is also new beginnings. I've never done this before.
Okay. Me neither.
So it's cardinal energy. Also during cardinal days, you can feel like you want to pull an all-nighter. You want to maximize your 24 hours. It's like you feel like there's I want to get so much done within these days. It's the same thing with the years, months, and days. I'm looking at July. Libra Day. Yesterday was a mutable day. Things don't go as planned. It was a Virgo day. It could even center Virgo. And also, actually, if you wanted to leave the house, if you'd be willing to leave the house, because this could open up a hermit mode. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow is a Scorpio day. Finances, resources, relationships. It's even a day where you can indulge. Maybe you get paid tomorrow and you get paid tomorrow, come into some sort of funding, or you pay some bills. Scorpio. It's a relationship day, so you might go on a town or might go on a town with a partner and really talk about where more trust, more vulnerability. Mm-hmm. It's a day of intimacy as well. And this is your perfection.
Oh my God. I love it so much.
I'm so thankful. Thank you for doing this with me. So appreciative for being a good sport. I know how you like being like, because this is where you like kind of put on blast sometimes, in front of people.
No, yeah.
Do this.
No, thank you. I love questions, honestly. And just thank you. Honestly, I should be thanking you because, like I said in the beginning for this live, I was watching you. I trust you when it comes to astrology. I came from spirituality first, then went into astrology. So I was just like, I feel like I'm in good hands when I learn anything about astrology with Umi. So thank you, honestly. And this has taught me not only more about myself and what I was correct about, but about my parents and about my mom. So
shout outs to that. That's because I love the children's charts. That's what
Exactly.
it's all about. Giving like just realizing that it's the same thing as a Scorpio fixed. All anyone who has that fixed dominant Scorpio, like fixed Taurus, Leo, Scorpio energy. A lot of times our mothers was a little scandalous, man. They came into love a little hot. You know, they're still trying to figure out where that really is. And we come in here to let
Exactly.
them put it in their face to let them know that we see you. And that may not always be so comfortable
Mhm.
when it comes to fixed relationships with their children and with mother, father. That love life and that intimate world is so like heavy for them that they now can fearmonger or put certain projections on you because of their shames. So it was so important for me to like look from that point of view, because I hated being a Scorpio as a child. I was like, oh my
Okay.
God, this is like the worst sign. So when I was growing up, so heavy is like the worst energy. So very important with looking at this from an ancestral point of view. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I have a
Um,
quick question
yeah,
if
no, go ahead.
possible.
I was just
Okay,
gonna
cool.
continue to do my speech.
Okay, good, good, good. Um, it's just one more question. So I had a question here. Basically says which planet, according to my chart, needs the most attention in the sense of that needs to be worked on in a sense.
I'm not gonna center just one.
Okay.
Um, the stellium, that Piscean energy,
Mm-hmm.
Moon, Mercury. Just looking at Pisces, also the house, that fourth house, figuring that
Mm,
energy is important. And it's from fourth house. We're not just looking at home, our ancestral realm. A fourth houser would want to do go to ancestry.com. They'll want to look at photo albums. They want to know
yes.
why I act this way. And it is Piscean, so and with the 8th degree here, 8 degrees Taurus. I'm sorry, 8 degrees Scorpio, 26 degree right here on your Mars is Taurus. So there may be, and this is also aspecting with mom, Taurus energy, Taurus degree.
Mm-hmm.
It just mean things that'll just be a fight. That's why your dream life, your intuition can be so strong, because there's things they're not gonna say. They're naturally hoarding it. They don't even
Yeah.
know how to express it. So that's gonna be a center. Also, fixed energy is important in the chart. Your North Node, South Node, your Saturn, your Sun. Looking at that fixed energy, looking at your nodes, that's important, since you have that aspect there. And when you have nodes aspecting personal planets, this even lets you know like the years that are going to be most important for you. And also, I
Okay.
like these aspects because you can feel a little lost with aspecting your nodes, because you're dealing with past life, current life, past life, current life. Which life?
I was going to ask that. I was going to say, how does my South Node affect my North Node in Leo? Because I think it's in Aquarius, the South Node.
And that's even showing how with identity since youth, that heaviness with this is bigger than me, further than me, beyond me. And also,
Mm-hmm.
why am I dealing with something so heavy since youth? Like parents could even express this to you. Like, where did this come from? Why so early? Why so heavy? But it's coming from it's that base of the past life. Now, another thing with the nodes aspecting you, the nodes transit every 18.5 years. Because in regular time, it's every 18.5 months. Every 18.5 months, we move into new nodal energy. So for you in progression, it becomes important. Your 18 and a half birthday to 22nd was so important. Figuring out where you're going, what you're doing, where you even went through psychosis period. That basis again, those themes. Why coming back home at 20? You came back home at 24, 25. Right now, coming back home.
Literally.
Your next one will be 18.5 years later, your 37th birthday. Another time you're coming back, it might be another psychosis period. 18.5 years after that, your 55th birthday. Another moment where you're going through your nodes, and it's a strong push on identity. Past life, current life, past life, current life. And when you go through nodal transits, since it's a huge identity shift, these are also times where you even lose friends, disconnect. So around your 18 and a half to 22nd birthday, why you were feeling that way, like you lost friends, people you were committed to, what that even felt with community, family.
Yes.
Now you're gonna have 2 periods where you come back home, where you're like Earth to me, 24 to that 25, and 31 to that 32. And anyone who has nodal aspects, you can relate to this. So anyone who has Sun, Moon, Mercury aspecting their nodes, North Node, South Node, you will relate to this with those ages. So fixed. The resources, finances, are important for you. Your Saturn isn't fixed. So every 7 years, you go through a money, resource stability. Lord. Also, your Saturn is your mom. That's another energy where it's going to take some time.
Wow. That makes sense. Probably to the point where we probably won't have a good relationship until I leave and get my own house and separated from her at that point. Because I see it with my older brother who had left the house. They had a bad relationship when he was in here. He left. That's like her baby now. And suddenly I'm treated like I'm the oldest, even though I'm the youngest and the only girl.
And her Taurus energy, where she likes the possessions. Ooh, you got your own stuff. Ooh, you got your own nice stuff. She could be into that and feel like that's a symbol of success. So that energy with Saturn, and every 7-year transit, you went through it's a fixed energy. Your Saturn return's about fixed energy. So coming into your late 20s, early 30s, there'll be something dealing with that finances, resources, a connection with mom as well. When what that builds, since she's part of your Saturn energy.
Now, is that necessarily a bad or a good thing, or is it neither?
Neither. It's just you have to see me as an adult now, Ma.
Mm-hmm. And
there's things that are happening where you are coming into seeing me as an adult. It could even open up spaces where it's a breakthrough between you, Saturn. Mm-hmm. Maybe your sun is Aquarius. So Saturn is something your sun wants to work towards, is identifying with. So your Saturn return is personal for you. Your South Node is even associated with the Saturn energy.
Oh, wow.
So for Saturnians, they can feel like Benjamin Buttons. As they get older, they feel better younger. When they were younger, it's like, oh, dreadful.
Yeah.
I'd be there with those placements. Cool?
Awesome. Like, you have no idea. Thank you so much. Like,
you're very welcome. I don't even have words. Same, because I'm in the same boat. This is my first time. I hope I want you to feel good. I want you to get as much as you can out. And also, this is a vulnerable space. So I know if I was on the other end, I'm like, okay, whew. So for you to be such a great sport, thank you as well. So
no, thank you. I love being open. Hopefully this helped other people that are watching, people who will watch later, help you with your own identification and your own personal life, because I know somebody needed to hear something about that control. Let go. So
thank you everyone as well for joining us. I just wanted to showcase this to show you how I interpret the charts and how you can interpret the charts. The different charts you can use, because sometimes you may feel like you've outgrown your natal chart. You never really do, but you may feel that way. So you want to work with energy now. And for the cardinals, this can be really important. Like what day should I work on? What month should I work on? What time should I be working in? So this can help you with the perfection chart, with building up, with working with cycles, taking more initiative in life. So this is how I read the charts. I want to also let everyone know I'm having the degree theory workshop on the 17th. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern time zone. Same way I was breaking it down with 20 degrees, 8 degrees, 17 degrees. Because you can look at your placements and feel like, I don't know if I truly fully identify with that. But then those degrees give you more interpretation and see how it can even conflict. Just with those placements, just with these aspects, degree and sign, degree and planet. So guys, I see you guys on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, the 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And always, always, always thank you so much, Astrolita. You have a great weekend.
You as well.
Bye, everyone. And this will be saved. Well, I said that quickly.
Good, yes.
So I'm going to work on it being saved. But also, I want to It's live and it's live. This is going to be on my YouTube and it's live, but I'm going to check to see on YouTube it's saved. But I'm going to check in with you after we get off this. I'm going to check in with you to just see if
Yes,
you want me to
please.
see how you feel and everything.
Yes,
'Cause I don't know if
please.
you want
Thank
to
you.
debate.
No, I would love to hear from you. Yes, please. Let's stay
All right.
connected. I am ever so grateful for just your generosity. Universe plan for you to hit me up and do something new because universe just knew. They just knew.
We're each other's Saturn place. My Saturn's in Aquarius. Thank
Mhm.
you. My moon is in Taurus. There you go.
Oh, wow.
So thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank
I'll see
you.
you guys later.
Bye.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.